Let's talk about the impact that these sexually explicit, graphic, and violent books have on the kids that are reading them. I'm going to play for you this video of Miss Wilcox, who was then a student addressing the Board of Education back in April. And she's going to share with you her story of what goes on in the Cameron High School with the students and with the staff. While you're listening to this, keep in mind the books that the school district is providing these kids to read. Is it a possibility that those books have created this mess or had an impact or have affected any of the students that are saying and doing the things you're about to hear? Here we go.
I'm currently satisfied with the book issue, so instead I'm going to talk about what I hear in the halls of CHS. When I was a freshman, I was told I should be fucked in the ass so I would calm down. When I was a sophomore, my boyfriend was told he should have sex with me so I wouldn't be so out there. When I was a junior, I was told it was girls like me that make life so hard for the men out there. Context, I yelled at a fellow student because they were talking about a girl inappropriately. I've read many books, and none of them have upset me the way that those statements did. So, let me enlighten you about what I overhear in the halls. What's wrong with you, N-word with the hard R? Oh, is the faggot upset? Man, this girl's so hot, I want to ask her out. I watched this happen. That same boy got rejected. He then said, that girl's so desperate, she must have daddy issues. Fucking slut. She was tight. I've never had tighter. Yeah, we railed last night in my mom's bed. His cock definitely rearranged my organs. My mom called the cops on me. I told her I don't give a fuck and see what they'll do. I told my parents what had been happening, but they didn't believe me. I really want to put a gun to my head and end it all. You're already fat. Are you sure you want to eat that? Trans people are disgusting. I want them all to die. From a teacher said this. 69 is a good number, but it's not a good grade. Also from a teacher. Come on, girl. Oh my goodness, it's so hot, but not as hot as the senior class girls. Homosexuals are just simple-minded, sucking creatures. I told him I didn't want to have sex, but he didn't care. A student tried to stab another student. I wish they would just kill themselves already. The world would be a better place. I did a pregnancy test. I really hope it's not positive. I have plans to kill myself if it is. This year, several knives have been brought to the school. This student is such a faggot, they won't stop looking at me. I hear countless N-words both with and without the hard R. So many fags, faggots, and queer from people using it in a derogatory term. There are people who bark and hiss at other students who are not their friends. I've heard that this teacher is such a cunt, I want to hit them with my car. I've heard a central office staff member, they were cursed out this year when they tried to break up a fight. There's so much more I could list, but I'm running out of time. And I want to challenge you. I want you to walk in the halls of CHS and hear what I have to hear every single day. I don't feel safe at CHS, and it's not because of the books.
Is there even a remote possibility that these books may have had an impact on the behavior that we're hearing about here? Here's what I wanted to talk to you about. This is the Cameron School Library that I'm doing a search on. I've searched on the subject of suicide. Cassidy told us of 2 different kids that talked about suicide at the high school. This red that says out is a book that is available in the library but is currently checked out. Green means that it is in the library and is available to be checked out. All of these books, with 36 of them being on the subject of suicide, are in the Cameron High School Library. Look at all this red. The story that Cassidy shared with the Board of Education is pretty concerning. She wasn't throwing anybody under the bus. She wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. I believe that she was speaking the truth. I don't know that any of those things occurred, but I've got to take the girl at her word. Are there books that are being provided to the kids in this library? Are they contributing to the things that we heard about? Or are they helping to solve the problem? Kids that are being bullied at school, that are contemplating suicide. She talks about 2 different students. Well, I assume they're 2 different students that were contemplating suicide. We have 36 books in the Cameron High School that talk about suicide. And almost a quarter of them are checked out. They're currently in the hands of kids. No counselor is going to recommend these books to a child that's going through something that is so traumatic that they're contemplating suicide. They're not going to give them these books to read. They're not going to say, read this book, it's going to help you. Why are these books in the library? Why do we have sexually explicit, graphic, violent books in the library? All of the things that we are seeing in these books, we are hearing played out in the story that Cassidy shared with the Board of Education. Cassidy was there, by the way, to defend the books. I think that they're related. Those minds are young and impressionable, and we are putting this garbage in front of them. How do 36 books on suicide meet the curriculum objective for the school district? How do dozens and dozens of sexually explicit, violent, graphic, racist books that include the abuse of drug and alcohol, include incest and bestiality, how do those books meet the curriculum objective for the school? Maybe we need to see the curriculum objectives, but we definitely need to restrict these books.